Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning. If you're watching us live, thanks for that. If you're watching these shows later, do remember that we upload them to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We have audio and video versions there for you to check out. We appreciate it if you do so. Of course, you can always play catch up if you missed a couple of shows. Getting into traffic this morning, looking a little rough there on I-12, starting at Millerville, coming all the way back to Pete's Highway, continuing to back up towards Jubin Road. So you're going to have some big delays there, and of course that has started to cause some delays on the surface streets. You're looking at delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190 in Denham Springs, especially on the 4-H Club side. You're also looking at minor delays on 64 heading into Central, however, heavy delays on Greenville Springs if you take a left there at the light. And, of course, some big delays here at about 7:30 in the morning at the larger high schools in and around Livingston Parish, especially Walker, Live Oak, and Denham. Please excuse me this morning. I'm going to be working through this. A little sick, trying to work through it. We're going to get through it together. 70 degrees is the current temperature, 77 your high. So we're going to have another warm day, 63 your overnight low, and it's actually going to stay warm through about Thursday. Then once that last band of rain comes through Thursday, it's going to be bringing some cold weather. So midday Thursday, it's going to get cold. Otherwise, looking at some intermittent rain today, not too much. It's going to be more rain tomorrow. So more heavier rain tomorrow anyway. So Hobby Lobby yesterday opened their new location on Jubin Road. Nice, shiny, new, pretty much a stock-for-stock replacement of their O'Neill Lane location. Of course, it is going to be a replacement of that location, 55,000 square feet, and they will be closing the O'Neill Lane Hobby Lobby. Not sure what will end up in that building, but Hobby Lobby on Jubin Road is officially open if you didn't see the posts yesterday. The Parish Council is going through something with Mark Harrell, who is the Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. Going back a little bit to kind of give some primer, the parish has gone back and forth with FEMA about what was done post-flood. The parish inspected about 383 homes after the flood. According to FEMA, they should have inspected closer to 4,000. A list they submitted to the parish was culled down due to some repeat addresses, some addresses that no longer exist, things like that. But you're left with about 3,300 homes. From there, at first, back in the fall, when we talked to Mark Harrell about this, he said that FEMA would be coming and would help with the inspections. Now it is apparently on the shoulders of the parish, at least the financial burden of it. The parish does not have enough labor to be able to perform those inspections in a timely manner. So Harrell came before the parish council looking for approval of a contract. However, he didn't have any contracts yet. None had been submitted. A couple of parish councilmen asked if he had actually advertised it. He just hasn't gotten any, hasn't gotten any contracts yet. There was no advertisement in our paper. The Advocate does not mean that he didn't put it out via national channels. However, one business did submit a bid after the meeting, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So Harrell asked the council to pass a resolution to allow he and Parish President Leighton Ricks to negotiate with any company that was willing to submit a bid and then accept that bid. Now, the range he gave for a cost was $300,000 to $400,000, which, according to Gary Frog Talbert, that's a pretty big range, especially since there was no money appropriated in the budget for this item. So the parish council is going to have to approve it and then move the money from one fund into another to get this paid for. So they tabled the item until their February 27th meeting until some sort of contract negotiation comes in, some sort of bids come in, something that the parish council can look at financially. Mr. Tracy Girlinghouse threw out that if it's time sensitive, which Mark Harrell said that it was, they could call a special meeting to come in and vote on that and get that contract set. So we'll be interesting to see what comes of that situation. Now, we did talk about a bid that came in after the meeting, a group called Plexos LLC out of Baton Rouge, which has done tens of thousands of inspections for FEMA and delegated billions of dollars, did throw out a bid of $98 per home for inspection. Now, it wasn't quite clear if that would match up with what FEMA's requiring of the parish. but they just threw something out to try to get their name in the bucket. And so it'll be interesting to see how that bid ends up on the final matrix once all bids are graded or have come in and been graded. So again, some contract negotiations going on there at the parish. We'll see what happens from there. Planning and Zoning in Denham Springs last night tabled the item about rezoning the old Delta Concrete location for lack of information. A lot of testimony last night. A lot of people came out from the Denham Springs area, mostly to testify against it. What Mr. Fred Banks is looking for is to clear that land out and replace it with low to moderate income housing through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. There are a lot of different scenarios that could work out there. We're going to be getting on the phone with Rick Foster, who is the city building inspector, after the show to kind of ask him what some of the more details are. Someone threw out that there would be 50 buildings with, like 38 units per, and that's just not going to fit on that amount of land. So we're going to try to get some more details out of Mr. Foster and see where they're looking to go from here. Of course, planning and zoning for Denham Springs only meets once a month, so it won't be until March until they come back and discuss it again. Yesterday, William Weathers and I got to sit down with Coach Blake Zito of Denham Springs High School. He's the girls' basketball coach. They had a pretty hot start. Stumbled against Doyle a couple of times, but that Doyle is the number 1 seed in 2A and continues to rock and roll. Right now, Coach Zito has his team rocking and rolling as well. They are undefeated in district. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They're going into Zachary tonight, looking to claim that district title. So that'll be tonight and they are at Zachary, and then they will finish up their regular season at Live Oak on Friday. So keep an eye out for that. Please go check out that podcast. Mr. Zito talks quick. He's very energetic. We got it done. It's about 23 minutes. It's a lot of good listening. A lot of good stuff going on for the Denham Springs girls basketball team at this time. I want to go ahead and discuss that the girls' end of the season is pretty much upon us. They've all got 2 games left, Tuesday and Friday, to wrap up their district slates. Going to be looking at playoff pairings probably this weekend to go ahead and get that postseason started. There's a feature story on the French Settlement High School girls basketball team, which is a number 5 seed in 2A. Unfortunately, they're in that district with Doyle, who's number 1. So it's kind of tough, to kind of, sometimes you just kind of, you're good that year, but you get paired, you're in a district with somebody who's just a little bit better. But they have given, as Sam White discussed, who is the head coach of the Doyle girls, they gave Doyle a run for their money several times. So pretty good team. They have some interesting things that they do this season to try to bring together a group of seniors that are going to be heading out. They're very deep, 8 deep, 9 deep in some places. So please go read that feature story by Rob DeArmond. You can find it at www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. Of course, tonight we're going to have a lot of scores coming out as some of these district games continue to move forward. Of course, the boys will have an extra week. So the girls will end up probably this Friday. The boys will end up next Friday. So they'll finish next Friday. Excuse me. Karen Land. Well, first and foremost, the best way to describe it is a dog named Chloe distracted a whole lot of Live Oak middle schoolers. Miss Karen Land, who races in the Iditarod, which is an 1,100 mile race across Alaska through the frozen tundra. She does that yearly and then comes and talks about it to thousands of students around the country. And she ended up at Live Oak Middle School this year. And the kids, she brings one of her dogs, as we mentioned, it's named Chloe. It's a Corgi mix, and she's a ham. She hams it up, and it's sort of part of the opening act. The kids love it. And then she kind of starts talking about the race itself and the perseverance and breaking through the weather and that kind of thing. And it's a very fascinating story. Mr. David Gray covered when she visited Live Oak Middle. You can check that out. www.livingstonparishnews.com/living. She gave a very engaging talk about what it means to rise up and persevere through hard times. One last time with your traffic. Millerville, starting on I-12 westbound, heading all the way back, getting close to Juban now with the traffic at that point, or at this point. 4-H Club Road is also heavily backed up because of the traffic on the interstate. You're looking at delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190 in Denham Springs. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central, with heavy delays on Greenville Springs if you take a left there. A lot of that traffic starting to filter out of the high school areas as it is about 7:40 in the morning. So you're looking at things clearing up in front of Dim Springs High School, Walker High School, and Live Oak High School. It's currently 70 degrees. It is going to get up to 77 today. Going to be another warm one. Probably some intermittent showers in and around the day. Going to get some more rain tomorrow. And then we're going to have more rain on Thursday. That rain Thursday is going to bring in some cold weather. It's going to drop into the low 30s Thursday night and going to stay cool through next Monday. So be prepared for that. But carry an umbrella with you the next 2.5 days. However, the sun is supposed to come out on Friday. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. Remember, we do upload these to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print. We're also online. I mentioned it a couple of times, www.livingstonparishnews.com. And we do have an app to go with that. Hope you have a great day. Please remember to bring your umbrella with you, and we will be back in the booth tomorrow morning.